Everyone looks at this painting and sees a monster tearing apart a child. But nobody notices the glaring absence in the father's eyes that changes the entire meaning of the legend. We are taught this is Saturn devouring his son to prevent a prophecy from coming true. Yet if you look closer, you will realize this figure is not acting out of malice, but out of absolute terror. Most people spend their lives staring at the grotesque limbs and the blood, but they completely ignore the way the hands are gripping the body. Look at the knuckles. They are not crushing the child. They are clutching at something that is slipping away. There is a specific shadow cast across the right side of the figure's face that suggests he is looking at something we cannot see. The true horror of this masterpiece is not the violence. It is the realization that he is trying to stop his own hand from committing the act. There is a frantic energy in the brushstrokes that was never meant for public eyes. This was painted directly onto the walls of his own home in secret. He was not creating art for the world, he was purging a nightmare from his own mind. The eyes are the key to the entire mystery, and they are not looking at the victim, they are looking at the void behind the canvas. Now we must move beyond the gore to uncover the second mystery hidden within the very composition of the nightmare. Look at the legs of the victim. Have you ever wondered why they appear so adult in their structure, despite the narrative being about a son? That is because the figure is not a child at all. It is a representation of time itself. Goya was painting his own descent into madness and isolation. This is the moment where we discover that the true victim is not the son. It is the painter who is consuming his own legacy. Note the way the knees are positioned. They are bent in a state of impossible tension. It suggests that the victim is not passive, but fighting back against an inevitable force. This specific geometry reveals that Saturn is not just an ancient myth, but a mirror for Goya's own crumbling sanity. He knew his time was running out, and his art was the only thing capable of devouring his own past. The brushstrokes here are chaotic and erratic, showing a man who lost the ability to paint with precision and instead began to paint with pure agony. This was the work of a man trapped in his own internal prison, looking for an exit that did not exist. We reach the final layer of this enigma and the most chilling realization of all. Look at the darkness surrounding them. It is not just an empty void, it is the absolute absence of hope. Goya painted this directly onto the dining room wall of his home in the Quinta del Sordo. Think about that. He ate his meals while staring into the eyes of this cannibalistic god every single day. The third mystery is the hidden perspective of the viewer. We are not just spectators, we are witnesses to an inescapable cycle. The way the figure leans forward towards us suggests he is about to step out of the darkness and into our reality. This is not a historical painting about a myth. It is a warning about the fragility of human existence. When Goya painted this, he was already deaf and abandoned by society. He was staring at the end of his own world. If you look at the raw paint application, you can see he didn't even use a palette knife. He used his fingers and rags to claw this image into existence. This is the portrait of a man who realized that eventually the monster in the dark comes for everyone. And in the end, all that remains is the silence of the shadow.